Hello, I'm Raffan. In this video you'll see me turn this little dish. Got a little bit of figure in it. I think it's Kauri Pine, but I'm really not sure. Anyway, it's what you're going to see in this video. This came from a collection of blanks I've given recently. I think it's Kauri Pine, but I'm not sure. It has some figure around here. Anyway, bit of an adventure. Not sure what I'm in for here. So that goes on to some shark jaws. And there we go with the 1/2 inch spindle gouge as usual. Doesn't seem to work too badly. What I do know is that this stuff is at least 10 years old, 10 years dry. Seems to cut pretty cleanly, that's good. Rest comes up to work on the flat surface with a scraper. Going on into shark jaws, that will be about the right size, I think. When I say the right size, that's the scale of the foot to the diameter of the bowl. Straight in on the line to start with. If you dovetail the foot at this stage and then reduce the height, you reduce the diameter of the foot and it might not fit in the chuck. So straight in at this stage. Make sure you can see some daylight underneath the straight edge. Go with the 3/8 bowl gouge, 3/8 flute. A little bit of a knocking sound, probably the hardness of the figure. Yes, and it's chipped out a bit up there where the grain's twisted, and could be a bit cleaner I suppose, but it's definitely sandable, so I'm going to come in with the scraper. And up where there's the picked up grain, just shear scrape there, tilt the edge up on its side, or tilt the tool up on its side so see where the dust is coming from. Right, that looks a bit better. You can feel something slightly different where there's a burnish mark, which you can probably see. Just come past all that. Do it again. around the bottom. There's still a hint of my marks for the diameter there, so take those away using the left wing, tilt it up on edge, just shear scrape that, roll the tool over, come in on its side, roll very slightly anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, and that should fit quite nicely. I've got a little rounded, a bit too rounded at the moment. Kind of bead of a foot. Come in on top of that again, and just leave it plain like that. And sand with 180 grit. Just have a little go initially and see what effect that's had. Quick sanding, yeah, I'm pretty certain this is Kauri Pine, New Zealand Kauri Pine. That abrasive has had it. So we get a fresh bit. Blue, which is the 240 grit. We've got a 320 on this rotary sander. Rice oil, and that gets mixed in with the beeswax. Which is my preferred finish for anything utilitarian. The surplus wax comes off into the sock. Get its other half and just take the surplus of that off into a cleaner rag. Right, that now gets turned around. And this is the right size for the chuck. Just. Those jaws are closed right down, so they're really gripping just on the inside of the innermost part of the curve. Right, next drill a depth hole. So I've got some small marks on here, which I've just put on. Go just slightly short of that one. I'll use a bowl gouge this time. 3/8 bowl gouge. 3/8 flute. So just using the left wing. Just to get that clear. Bring the speed up a bit, now up to 1600. It's rattling a little bit, which means that there's half of this piece I think is actually sapwood. So timber, the blank isn't evenly dense. stage I can start thinking about rims. Try a slightly steeper one this time, or wider one. Quite thin in there. Sounds quite thin. Right, I'll deal with that first. I very rarely go all the way into the bottom with a gouge. Just find I have more control over the shape with a scraper. Slight hump in the middle. Still a slight hump. Now I'm going to undercut this rim very slightly. Now I do that with my shear scraping tool, which has a nice sharp corner on it. Push to get round that corner with that tool. Not much of a radius on it, so have a tool slightly tighter radius. Now to get up into that corner, I've just developed this tool, which has been skewed slightly to the right, and then on the corner I've taken off quite a bit, so I've got a fairly steep bevel there, or a fairly long bevel there. It must be close on 45 degrees. So this is quite a dangerous little point. And the idea is that I can then scrape in right into a corner there. I watch what's happening over at about 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. This has got a radius on it so that I can just get in with a little bit of a curve under the rim. And with the very sharp corner, I can just poke that straight in across the end grain and get a very nice clean cut, which I can see again over at about 4 o'clock. Now, I don't want all that. I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'll use the bowl gouge again. I'm just going to take this down in there a little bit. I just want to tilt the rim in slightly. I can use that wing just to tool right on its side, just inviting a catch. Extremely risky, that one. Coming up on the top, I'm going to shear scrape across the top. Rattling there, that means I need to support the cut. And this is just snatched a little bit there, but that's all I'm taking off is just dust, and I get a very nice cleanly cut rim. I hope, yes. A little bit kind of rough up here, but abrasive's going to take care of that in a millisecond. .180 grit again. The main thing I've got to watch here is that I don't lose this little undercut. Now, partly the reason for this rim is that if I want to remount this and do anything to the foot, that will chuck jaws will slide inside there. And then I can take away the foot if I want to, which I don't. If I wanted to put a little bead in there or anything, I could do that now. But that just opens up your design options. So you have a decorative feature, the main purpose of which is actually to allow you to remount the piece for resanding or just changing the shape on the foot.